So, Bungie has released their State of the Game post, written by Joe Blackburn. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of posts about it by now. I'm just here to talk about Gambit and its future because I absolutely love the mode, but I'm aware most people do not. But before we dive in, I'll read what Joe had to say about Gambit as a refresher. As many of you have noticed, we've been quiet on Gambit since last year's overhaul that launched alongside the Witch Queen. In that revamp, the teams made significant changes across 5 categories in Gambit: core activity fundamentals, primeval tuning, invasions, ammo economy, and rewards. Unfortunately, these updates didn't move the needle for player engagement. Although we know our Gambit fans mostly care about newer returning maps, this is an area of the game with lower engagement that would take resources away from more popular parts of the game to shore up. While we don't have plans to dedicate more resources to significantly transform Gambit, we do have a few updates planned for the year of the final shape. These include porting the Cathedral of Scars map and its beautiful Dreaming City setting into the latest version of Destiny 2, as well as adding the Shadow Legion and Lucian Hive enemy types. Before then, we're making Gambit entirely optional to maximize your rewards unless you're looking for a piece of gear that's specific to the mode. Gambit will continue to serve as a source of exotic engrams via weekly challenges, though as we mentioned above, you'll be able to complete all your weekly challenges in any ritual you'd like starting in Season 22. If you want to stick to Vanguard or Crucible challenges without touching Gambit, now you can. We're also reducing the number of Gambit-specific seasonal challenges starting in Season 22, so players won't need to bank motes to be able to earn that big purse of Bright Dust for completing nearly every challenge in the season. Finally, we're adding Fireteam matchmaking to Gambit next season, which will replace the freelance node and should result in faster, better matchmaking by combining both Gambit playlists. We'll keep an eye on reception and player engagement after these additions take place, and we hope you'll visit Old Drifter next season to get your hands on his new Void machine gun. Oh boy. All right, let's start with the positives. My favorite Gambit map is coming back. I absolutely loved Cathedral of Scars, so I'm very excited to be able to get to play it again. Shadow Legion and Lucian Hive being added into the enemy pool is awesome. I love fighting both of these enemies, and adding them in will help Gambit feel more up to date with the rest of the game's PvE. Not having to play Strikes or Crucible for my weeklies is great, as I'm sure it's great for people who don't like Gambit. Reducing the seasonal challenges is another positive. I personally find those challenges to actually hinder the overall Gambit experience because players are just trying to get their challenges done instead of trying to win. Once Iron Banner got Fireteam matchmaking, I figured it was inevitable for Gambit to have it, and as long as it works, it should be fine. Alrighty, now on to the bad and the worst. Firstly, adding in Shadow Legion and Lucian Hive. Like I said, I'm excited to fight them in Gambit. However, they need to be in addition to the mode, not a replacement. If they are replacing the Red Legion / normal Hive, this is just a bad idea. Gambit needs that variety. Secondly, the fact we're only getting one of the 2 sunsetted maps back after 3 years is, to put it simply, a joke. Where is Kill's Grave, the Tangled Shore map? The fact that it took this long just to get one of 2 maps back is super disheartening. How can I expect them to make a new Gambit map when they're struggling to simply bring back 2 old maps? Joe said what Gambit fans want are maps, and I highly agree. The mode itself is in a fantastic spot in my opinion, and it just needs some quality of life updates. But Joe has even previously said 2 years ago, in fact, that they plan on making new Gambit maps in the long term. How long is this term? I'm going to be playing Metroid Prime 4 and Hollow Knight Silksong before I get to play a brand new Gambit map. And that's all they're doing. I was hoping for them to bring back the Primevals from Gambit Prime at least, like Taken Nosk and the Taken Hobgoblin. And let me pull up this video real quick.
You know, this guy's pretty resilient. Wouldn't make a bad primeval.
So because of this, I figured they were at least adding in poor old Kelgaroth into Gambit in the future. I figured this was a tease, but there's no mention of anything of the sort. There's no mention of loot pool updates either. The Reckoning weapons were just updated and added in this season with Season of the Deep, and yet you cannot earn them in Gambit. So with all that, you got all these factors. Like, we went 4 to 5 years playing the same 4 maps. Combine that with the fact that the weapons that drop from Gambit, there's like, what, 10 guns? 8 of them are absolutely fucking useless. So combine these 2 factors of playing like the same 4 maps, and the loot incentive is just literally not there at all. And what you get is a stale, dying mode that's been neglected for so many years with no reason to play it. It doesn't matter how good the mode is, there's no reason to actually play Gambit. And because there's no reason to play the mode, of course players players are not going to be playing the mode. Perfect example is Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite came out, that first month, everyone was playing Halo Infinite, and then they didn't release any content. It doesn't matter how good the game is, if you're not releasing content for it, people are going to leave. As a huge fan of Gambit and someone who's trying to be understanding in the fact that it isn't that popular of a mode, it just blows my mind in how much they've essentially given up on the mode and leaving it in the dust. I honestly thought Bungie was going to announce they were planning on removing Gambit, and while I'm happy that isn't the case, in a way, it feels like they did. Anyway, I just had to get my thoughts out there and just make this quick post or video about this because I very much love Gambit, and no matter how I feel about the season or the expansion or whatever, at the end of the day, us as Destiny players, we go to the core modes. Once we've done the story, once we've gotten the new weapons and stuff like that, what keeps us playing is the core playlist activities. Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, Trials, Iron Banner. These are core crucial modes to the game that keeps it alive. Yeah, sure, the exotic mission is fun, and yeah, sure, that story mission was pretty good, and that reveal of the witness was, whoa, like, whatever. At the end of the day, that's not what I'm going to be playing for hours on end in Destiny. It's going to be the core playlist activities, and for me personally, that's Gambit because of how much I love the mode. And to just see it just be completely tossed to the side is, like I said, it's disheartening. And it honestly blows my mind that Bungie has decided to go this route, even if the mode isn't that popular. Anyway, I just had to get that out of my system.